Do, 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 do. And I think I'm live. Got to give myself 2 seconds to see it. Okay, I am live. People are receiving my content. Yes, I just want to go ahead and tell you guys, I know that Q&A and AMA is basically the exact same thing, but sometimes you just want to do something a little bit different, and something different is exactly the same sometimes. So yeah, decided to do a live stream. Didn't really have a topic, and one of the hardest things to do is when you don't have a topic for something is like shooting a thumbnail and creating a title. It's like, what do I title this? I don't know. Q&A, AMA. So what's going on, everybody? Y'all doing good? Oh my gosh, Faith. Is that really your first comment that you're ever going to post on my thing? What's going on? King Lion, Tony, Mr. Bacon. You're always here, Mr. Bacon. Haley, Nightwolf, Savage Cereal, USA Ball, Ron Bino. It's Chelsea. What is a way to get out of AIT? Please help. I want to get out, but I don't want to break a body part. Fail all of your PT tests. If you want to get out of the military, fail all of your PT tests. Jacob Smith, what's up? Bama, Diana, Aaron, we have the same shirt. Everybody's probably got this exact same shirt that I have. You are the third. So anyways, do I know the difference between a physical therapist and a physical therapy specialist? I would say no. Not to that answer. Yay, this is my first live stream, Josh Anderson. Which branch should I go to? Whichever one you want. Let me scroll down to the bottom here. And then I got to do something. You guys crack me up sometimes. So, what did somebody just say? I just watched your Army Gear video and got the notification you were live. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are probably going to come straight from that video because that video is actually doing really well today. And I don't normally live stream on a day that I upload, so this is something different. And I probably shouldn't be live streaming right now because I don't really have the time, but I want to make sure I live stream for you guys this week. And what's up, Tommy? What's up? What happens if I fail the first 111 test, the mile portion? So for those of you who don't know, whenever you go to basic training, you're going to take a 111, which is similar to the PT test, but it is 1 minute of push-ups, 1 minute of sit-ups, and a 1 mile run. And all that is an assessment. That is not an actual record PT test. It's just an assessment. So if you fail that, then you're going to be perfectly fine. There's nothing's going to happen to you. They're just basically going to write a note that you failed that, or that you did really poorly at that, or however they grade that. I don't think they actually grade it. I think they just do that, or they write it down, so you don't really get graded on the 111. What's the rules on braces? I'm not sure, Hayden. I don't know if there is any, or I'm not 100% sure. Jowl 7D. How many years do you plan on staying in the Army? 20 plus in the Army Reserves. I plan on having a couple deployments. At least 3. I think 3 deployments is the minimum. So I think 3 to 4 deployments and 20 plus years for sure. Like I said, what happens if you fail the 1 mile run at the beginning of basic? Nothing happens. Alright, so I was watching The Punisher on Netflix. Yeah, I watched some of that. The Punisher on Netflix is pretty good. Hey man, I'm probably going into the U.S. Army and your vids are helping me so much. Thank you. Jules Field, thank you. What do you think about vegan in the military? I don't really think there's really that big of a deal. There's vegetarian MREs and all that stuff. I mean, if you're vegan and you're in the military, you're just kind of making your life a little bit more difficult because you're going to be a lot more limited on the things that you can eat, and sometimes you might not want to eat stuff. It depends on how strict you are with your veganism. So sometimes there might not be a lot for you to eat, and you're going to be eating just a little bit of food. So, I mean, that's my thoughts. Like, I don't really have anything against it, but USA, USA, USA. Da, 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 da. What is... Should I join the military at 17 because I'm trying to graduate early, but is it a good idea? That's totally up to you, King Lion. It's totally up to you. If you feel comfortable joining at 17, there is no negative thing. So there's no like, is it a good idea to join at 17 or 18 or join before college or after college? It's just whatever you think is best for your situation. If your parents are okay with that, if you're okay with that, then I think joining at 17 would be a good thing then, because then you just get in early. If you know you want to do it, the earlier you get in, the better. Because then you're going to be freaking retiring at 7 years old. If you join the military at 17, you got to like wrap your mind around this, that you could retire from the military at 37, which is still ridiculously young. Like, there's people who join the military at 35, and you will be retiring from the military at 37, 2 years after that, and you're still ridiculously young. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you know you want to join the military, the earlier the better, in my opinion. If you know that's what you want to do. But if there's other things you want to do in the meantime or whatever, then that's up to you. But my phone is at 14%. Well, Mr. Bacon, you're just gonna have to like stay on the live stream until your phone dies. What is the usual food at the DFAC? It depends on breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Breakfast is pretty much the same. You're going to have like scrambled eggs. You're going to have like really salty bacon and sausage. You're usually going to have a choice between like two meats like that. It's either going to be bacon or sausage. And then they're either going to have pancakes or waffles, maybe French toast. And they're not terrible, but it's also not that great. So like, if you ask me how good the food is at basic training, it is 100% better than I thought it was going to be. So like, the food in the military, as far as in the training scenario goes, is a lot better than I thought it was going to be, but it just gets old, right? So there's not a whole lot of variety, especially when it comes to breakfast. Lunch, I think, is probably the best meal of the day, I think. Dinner is actually probably a smaller meal, but yeah, so the food that they have there, I guess, would be like normal, like school cafeteria food with a twist. It's packed with a whole bunch of nutrients and stuff. It's really calorie dense, but it's not that bad. Is it possible to get stationed in Italy while being an MP inactive? Yes, Zombie Slayer. Hey, how's it going, Kiki? Everything's going great. What is your dream MOS? I would like to be Cyber. Which, as an officer, Cyber is 17 Alpha, I believe. So at some point in my career, if the opportunity comes up, I would like to switch to 17 Alpha. Possibly. I mean, as long as like my life permits it, because 17 Alpha, like the training for that is like 9 months long. So as long as life permits that, I think that would be fun. Like, I really wanted to do that. But anyways, are you going to watch Black Panther? Yes. I watch all of the Marvel. I watch all the Marvel movies. I'm thinking about joining the Air Force, Kiki. That's perfectly fine if you want to go that route. A lot of people join the Air Force just because they think they get treated better or whatever. But really, just join the one that gives you the most benefits, right? Join the one that gives you the most benefits. Graduated from Fort Benning a couple weeks ago. Delta 247, appreciate the videos a lot before I left. So yeah, so I was Charlie 247. So what's your name? Jack Rinda. We were like in the barracks building beside each other. So you were Delta. I remember having Delta 247. They were right next to us, and we were Charlie 247. So unless they change things around, like where that company is located at, you were right next to me, and our CTA was like right next to each other. But obviously, I was there several years before you. What? Oh, that's somebody doing a giveaway or something. What's your favorite chips? My favorite chips. I would say my favorite chips would be barbecue That's a good question. Because it's either a snack chip or a chip to like eat with a meal. So I would just say Pringles. I like cheddar Pringles would be my favorite chips. Is that a repeat comment? What if you get high blood pressure at MEPS because you're scared? If it's because you're scared, I think you'll be fine. But if you just have high blood pressure in general, then that's a whole nother issue altogether. Because if you have high blood, like if they're testing you and you're nervous or whatever, and you like let them know like, I don't know, I'm like super scared right now, I'm super nervous, it's raising your blood pressure or whatever, then they'll be like, okay, well we'll see about that, and then we'll just test you again in a little bit whenever you calm down. So again, like if it's just a one-time thing, like you were nervous or whatever, they'll I guess just test you again. Do you have to sound off at DFAC in basic training? Yes. So whenever you, Jeremiah Jacobs, when you are at basic training and when you're at reception, especially like really, well, at both actually. So when you get to reception before basic training, what you're going to do is every time you go to the DFAC, the dining facility, for those of you who don't know, you're basically going to march there. Then you're going to be in a formation right outside the DFAC. And they're going to make you say, like, the Soldier's Creed. They're going to make you repeat all this stuff. And you're going to be, just mark time marching there, which is mark time march is basically you're marching in place. So you're not actually walking forward. So you're going to be doing that. They might make you be doing cadence and stuff. So one of the times when you're going to be yelling super loud is you will be at the DFAC, right outside the DFAC. So some fun thing that drill sergeants like to do is like when you're going to the DFAC or something, you got all 4 platoons marching to the DFAC at the same time, and everybody's like trying to compete with each other and like which platoon can be the loudest. And then you get to the DFAC, and then everybody's like mark time marching there. So all the platoons are mark time marching, and every platoon is like trying to one up each other and trying to be louder and louder at each other. And then you might have some platoons that create their own custom cadence, and then they like diss another platoon, right? So that's like I said in a past live stream or something, that's like one of the funnest things about basic training is just the cadence calling, all that stuff. So you will definitely sound off at the DFAC. I really want to join the military, but I don't know how to join. So Night Wolf, how you join the military, call a recruiter. Wait, you got to Google Army recruiter's office or whatever. Then you call the recruiter, you set an appointment. They're going to ask you a couple questions. You set up an appointment, just go talk to them. Then you go talk to them, and then everything will be self-explanatory from there. What do you know about Army ROTC? Well, Elijah Castillo, I totally didn't say your name correctly, but I'm in Army ROTC right now. I commission, for those of you who don't know, I commission as a second lieutenant this May 13th is my commissioning ceremony day, and of course there's gonna be like some kind of video or something on that. What kind of Army YouTuber doesn't record their commissioning ceremony whenever they go from enlisted to officer? Because of course I'm doing that. Do they serve pancakes at basic? Yes. And I really did like the pancakes, but the pancakes got super old to me. Like around just the last 2 weeks of basic training. So around week 8 of basic training, I was just tired of the breakfast. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. It's just too much of the same stuff over and freaking over again. Can't do it anymore. And holy crap, we got 117 people. That's freaking awesome. So, at the end of the medical day, we'll retake it. Yeah, it's called Reserve and National Guard. Oops. Should I join the Army Cadets? Joseph, if you want to be an officer, yes. If you want to be an officer, you should then become a cadet, because that's how you become an officer. I ship to Benning tomorrow. Ricardo Castro. Good luck, bro. Good luck at 30th AG. I swear. You guys, I swear, it's so funny. It's so funny. You guys that are about to go to Fort Benning, you don't even realize. 30th AG. Reception. And just mark my words. Come back to me. Come back to me after you graduate basic training, right? Come back to me after you graduate basic training and be like, and either disagree with me or agree with me and be like, bro, yeah, 30th AG, the reception battalion, not even basic training, is worse than basic training. And not that it's more physically difficult. It's just it's boring. They treat you like crap. You still don't really get much sleep. It's just, oh my gosh, 30th AG is something else. 30th AG is something else. Somebody asked me a question, but I missed it. What the heck? May take a video request again? I feel like I just skipped like 50 messages. When is the next time we need to vote for you on Twitter, Mark? So, for those of you that don't know, I am in the Best Military YouTuber competition, which is something that Kyle Gott is putting on. I put my Twitter in the description of this video. I don't use Twitter, or I didn't use Twitter all the time. Now I'm trying to use it, a little bit. But on Twitter, you guys can vote for me to, win against the person that I'm going up against in the Best Military YouTuber competition. The next time that you can vote for me in round 2, I think he said is Wednesday. It might be Tuesday again, but I'm pretty sure he said Wednesday. I'm pretty sure, possibly. So we will see about that, but tentatively, I do think it's Wednesday. And then if he goes off of like what he did last time, it's going to be Wednesday night it's going to be Wednesday night. He posted last ones pretty late. So, what happens if your family has an emergency while you're in basic? DX Joker, that's actually a really good question. So, it's actually a really good question. So if you do have a legit family emergency, like a close family member dies, like, I hope it doesn't happen to you, but like if your brother died or your even like your grandfather died, just like it has to be like immediate family, right? It can't and it can't be somebody who's like not blood related. So like if your best friend died or something like that, like they probably won't let you leave or won't want you to leave. But like if you have something super serious happens, your family will have to contact the Red Cross. And so the way that you can get in contact with military members whenever they're in an environment when you can't get in contact with them, then what you do is you contact the Red Cross and you tell them like what unit they're in and stuff, and then the Red Cross will contact you. So if you're, your girlfriend, probably not, I don't even know if they would do it for girlfriend. Let's say your mom gets into a serious car wreck. Your family, contacts the Red Cross. They're like, man, she's in really bad shape or whatever. Again, I hope this doesn't happen to you, but then they will let you know at basic training, and then they'll give the decision to you. Do you want to go home or do you want to stay? And usually for people, sometimes if it's at the beginning of basic training, they go home. But, sometimes if it's like right at the end of basic training, they might stick it out the last week or two and then go home. So that is the answer to that question. Do you have to set an appointment or you can walk in? It is recruiters prefer to set up an appointment whenever you go and talk to them. You can just walk into a recruiter's office, but again, they don't necessarily like that because if they are like, maybe they're busy or something, or maybe there's a whole bunch of appointments scheduled with a bunch of people, and then you walk in, you might just be waiting there, and then they might have somebody scheduled right afterwards. So they like for you to call ahead of time. They're going to ask you a couple of questions. The recruiters will be like, hey, have you ever been convicted of a felony before? Really basic stuff like that. And then they'll just set up an appointment. So, but you can just walk in. Matt, what's your MOS? It was 25 Bravo. Now that I became a cadet from being 25 Bravo, which is an IT specialist, I became a cadet. It's like 09 uniform or something, although it's really just like a placeholder MOS. And then my new MOS as of whenever I commission is going to be 25 Alpha, which is a signal officer. Jimmy Engelman, please say my name. So there you go. I didn't even read that before you. Yeah. So I'm 14 years old, dream to be in the Army, and I love to watch your videos. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. Matt Wicks, weapons of mass destruction for all you that don't know. How soon after AIT can you use educational benefits in the reserves? Immediately. Although it's not technically immediately. So whenever I graduated from the Army Reserves or from AIT and then I did school, I graduated from AIT on December 16th, and then I started back in the spring semester in college in January. So I did that turnaround real quick. And then as soon as I got home, you have to contact a whole bunch of people. You got to make sure you get the GI Bill set up because you got to apply for that. Then you got to go through your school to get that. So it could take a couple of months for things to come through for that, but you can start school back immediately. But it might take a little bit of time for your GI Bill to come in. So I was cutting it really close. But if you have, several months before your semester starts, your GI Bill should be in by then. Yep. Ethan Clark. Yep. Are officers who don't go through basic considered real soldiers? Technically, officers aren't really considered soldiers. They're officers, right? So you have enlisted soldiers, and then you have officers. You're just officers. You don't say officers, soldiers. It's just officers. So the question of, are they considered real soldiers? Like, yes, there's real soldiers in the Army, but you just call them officers. It's the same way, like, enlisted soldiers enlist and they have to redo contracts and stuff, but then officers, they don't. You just commission, and then that's it. And then you can not necessarily quit whenever, but it's up to you when you resign. So the enlisted officer thing is different, but anyways. Victoria, hey Matt, love your videos and your gorgeous self. Thanks for all the helpful tips. Thank you, Victoria. Making me. Alright, so can you reschedule your ship out date because of family emergency? JJ, and again, if it's a legit family emergency, so like the military, they will work with you on legit family emergencies, right? So again, it's basically almost has to be life or death the majority of the time. So if you're about to leave for basic training and your ship date is next week, and again, a family member dies, a close, immediate family member dies, and you're I don't want to miss their funeral or whatever, then that will be worked through. So there's, things to deal with that. But I don't know, if a non-serious thing happens, then no, you can't switch your ship date. What different jobs will you have as a 25 Alpha compared to what you do as a 25 Bravo? So when I was 25 Bravo, that is a specific MOS in the 25 series. So if you hear people say series whenever they're talking about MOSs, 11 series, 13 series, 12 series, 25 series, 88 series, 18 series, those are just it's like a group of MOSs that are related, right? So they're a series of MOSs that are related. So the 25 series has got, 25 Bravo, 25 Delta, 25 Quebec, 25 Uniform, 25 Sierra, and then 25 Alpha is a signal officer, which is a signal officer is all of those MOSs. So whenever I go to my BOLIC training, which is basic officer leadership course, or SBOLIC, signal basic officer leadership course, I will learn a little bit about every one of those MOSs that I will be in charge of. So what are the different jobs? It'll be every job. So I guess whenever I go to BOLIC, the 25 Bravo portion is going to be, super simple because I've already gone to that AIT, and 25 Bravo AIT is just under 21 weeks. And 25 Alpha, which is signal officer, which learns all of the freaking 25 series MOSs, is only it's either 12 or 16 weeks. I can't remember what it is, but it's not that long. So anyways, what if you are the smallest at basic training? William Scott. Well, then you are just the smallest at basic training. Nobody's going to feel bad for you. If you're ridiculously short, nobody's going to feel bad for you. If you're a female and you barely make the weight, nobody's really going to feel bad for you. They might be like, dang, you only weigh 110 pounds or whatever. That sucks, but you're still going to be rucking, right? You're still going to be carrying the same stuff everybody else is carrying. You're still going to be walking the same distance everybody else is carrying. The only thing that might be different is, if you're a female, this will happen to males. It doesn't really matter how light you are, but, if you're a female and you got, your squad, you're carrying and stuff, generally a guy's not just going to hand over the 240 Bravo, which is a very heavy weapon, to the female if she's one of those extremely tiny petite females. And that's not being sexist or anything. It's just, it doesn't really happen unless the girl's like, hey, let me carry that dang weapon and I'll show you guys that it's not difficult. That happens. But anyways, Daviana Numa, I'm so nervous for basic training. You don't be, but it's okay to be nervous at the same time. I think everybody's going to be nervous for basic training. You're going to have a mix of, being nervous. You're going to have a mix of being excited. You're going to have a mix of being scared. You're going to be just happy about it. You're going to be just, a whole mix of emotions. And being nervous is definitely not one that you shouldn't be feeling. So, Kyle Washburn, thank you. Did you get college credit for CIET or CLC? No. I didn't go to CIET. I didn't have to do that stuff. But the only thing that I've gotten credit for from the military in college is basic and AIT, and I got 3 college credits for that. So they're just like they were basically electives. So when you're in college, you can take electives, which are basically just like a general course that doesn't really apply to anything. So they gave me 3 electives, which is basically the equivalent of 1 course. So I haven't gotten anything. So I didn't get any credits for anything. Can you retake a MEPS physical? Yes. Do you like Full Metal Jacket? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a good movie. Are there such things as elite soldiers? If there, how do you become one? If you're talking about Delta Force, that's the most elite soldiers that I know of in the Army. And you never know. There might be like something like super freaking secret, hush hush, like don't talk about it, thing that the Delta Force is not even as good as. And there's like they recruit from Delta Force. But what my advice is to people, there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I want to join the military and I want to do Delta Force. And it's like, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry. You're not in the military yet. Do not even worry about going to Delta Force or being like that super elite, SEAL Team 6. If you want to be in the Navy SEALs, just worry about trying to get to freaking SEALs and becoming a SEAL, and then you can try to become on the SEAL Team 6. Same thing with Delta Force. If you want to go the Ranger route or if you want to go the Special Forces route, just do that. Just go the Ranger route and worry about what's in front of you. So worry about getting past basic training and doing amazing at that. Worry about going to airborne school and trying to be graduating top of your class and all that stuff. Then worry about getting past pre-RASP, and then worry about getting past RASP. And then once you become in the Ranger Regiment, then you have to still be a good soldier. You have to get selected to go to these really elite units. So don't even worry about going to all these super high elite things, because you don't know if you will even have the opportunity to do that. So just do the best at what's in front of you, and if the opportunity presents itself, then you can do it. Because to be in Delta Force, you already have to have years of combat experience anyway. So it's not like you can join the military. Same thing with SEAL Team 6. It's not like you can just become a SEAL and then the next day be like, all right, I'm going to be in SEAL Team 6. You have to prove yourself, right? Do you get paid during AIT? Yes. What happens if you're overweight by 5 pounds before MEPS? Will they kick you out? If you're overweight by 5 pounds before MEPS, or like if it's just a small number, a lot of times they won't. Obviously you could have that, that one, person who's having a bad day and they're like, no, you missed weight by 1 pound. We're going to not send you off to basic training or whatever. We're going to fail you. But that's probably not going to happen. A lot of times people will get sent to basic training just, 10 pounds overweight or whatever, because they know at basic training you're going to lose that weight, right? So, do you know the requirements to become a warrant officer? It kind of varies by the MOS, and it kind of varies whether you're active duty or the Army Reserves. So I kind of have a general idea, but basically you're going to have to be in the military for a while. You're going to have to be proficient at your job. Then once you become an NCO, then you can submit a packet to become whatever that is, right? Hello, Matt. What's up, Maximus? Hello, Matt. Do you know if 25 Charlie radio operators still roll with infantry and other combat MOSs? Yeah, all signal MOSs will pretty much do that. So, and it just depends. It depends on your unit. Depends on your unit. Can you give me some dating advice? Jacob Arquins, whatever. If you are about to leave for basic training, don't get a girlfriend. That is my dating advice. If you have a long-time relationship, then that's fine. You shouldn't break up with a person just because you're going to basic training, unless that's what you want to do. But if you're like about to leave for basic training, don't be looking for a girl, because when you're at basic, when you're at AIT, like, you're gone. You need to be concentrated on what you're doing, what's in front of you, and get that done. And then once that's done, then you can focus on that. So that's my thing. Kevin, I don't rap. Seppuku69. Now I'm at AIT. Thanks, man. Well, thank you, and congrats on graduating basic training. So, what muscle groups are best to exercise to be better prepared for basic? Well, like specific, I mean everything, honestly. So, a lot of people, it's like, so I make a lot of videos about doing push-ups and sit-ups and running, right? Because those are for the PT test. That's what you need to do to basically pass basic training. You need to pass the push-ups, you need to pass the sit-ups, and you need to pass the run. And so that's what I'm trying to prepare you guys for, because a lot of people, they just struggle with that, right? But then preparing for the military in general, that becomes a whole nother ballpark game, right? Then you need to start getting into making sure your legs are in shape, and you got, some muscle in your legs to actually be able to hold weight. You want to make sure your back is strong, so that when you're carrying a ruck, you're not going to freaking break your back, right? You want to make sure that your arms are strong, right? There's going to be a lot of lifting that you're going to be able to do. There's going to be a lot of, short sprints and stuff that you're going to do. There's going to be times when you might actually have to do pull-ups. So that's going to be a thing. So, if you don't want to be like a bodybuilder and do like a bodybuilder style thing, CrossFit stuff, aside from like kipping and doing pull-ups, kipping, that's stupid to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. But, CrossFit is a good style of exercise. So what body parts should you work on? Just work on full body exercise. So, like, you shouldn't just focus on, like, one thing. But for the PT test, you should focus on the 3 categories and making sure you're proficient at that, and then do your additional exercises. Matt, how many miles do you run in the morning? I generally don't run in the morning. I generally run, like, if I have free time. But right now, basically the minimum distance I run whenever I go out and do a run is a 5-mile run at about an 8-minute flat pace. It'll definitely be below. Basically, I'll go out. I would say my average run is 5 to 6 miles, 5 times a week or whatever. And, well, not really 5 times a week, because sometimes I'll do a longer run, and sometimes I might do a 2-mile sprint. But, what was I saying? But I'll do a 5 to 6 mile run, somewhere between a 7:30 pace and an 8:15 pace. And so that's how much I run. But I don't run in the mornings. I just run when I have time. If you're asking me if I vape, no, I don't vape. What's the weight requirement? The Undead Soul 97. It depends on your height, right? So the weight requirement depends on your height, and you can look up charts for that. So if you want to, if you're 6 feet tall, then that's 72 inches. So then you can look up the height requirement for, I'm assuming, a male that is 72 inches tall, which is probably going to be, if you're 6 foot, I'm just from memory, it's around about 200 pounds. Let's just say 200 pounds. If you're 210 pounds and you're 6 foot, I know that's probably overweight. Because I know for me, at 5'10", for those of you curious how tall I am, I'm 5'10". The max weight for me, I believe, is 186 pounds. So if you add 2 more inches to my height, I think that would probably bump you up around 200. I'm about 70 pounds overweight to join. Does it make sense to start talking to a recruiter, or waiting until I'm closer to my weight? If you know for a fact, Ben Moxley, if you want to join, then yeah, I think it makes sense for you to talk to a recruiter, because not only you will get to build that communication, but I think it'll also be an additional layer of motivation for you. So if you've already got that ball rolling, if you've already got the ball rolling and you can get paperwork and stuff and all that ready to go, you can take the ASVAB and do all that, but you're not going to be able to swear in and do everything until you get that weight down. But I think that would be an additional layer, so I would definitely suggest, if you know you want to join, to go ahead and talk with a recruiter. Have they used a new APFT yet in basic? I'm sure what they do, like with the new ACRT or whatever it's called, with the new PT test, basically they're just testing it out at different places. So they might have done it at some basic training unit somewhere, but I don't know that for sure. So, I mean, one of the cool things that I'm privileged with is I do actually hear a lot about what kind of things go on at basic training now, even though I haven't been to basic training, like I didn't just graduate, but a lot of you guys tell me about your experiences or certain things, and I have not heard anything about people taking the new PT test yet at basic, but I'm sure maybe they might have tested it somewhere. So anyways, how many push-ups can you do? Well, if you watch my 60-second push-up challenge video, I usually hit around 70 push-ups in a minute, and then in 2 minutes, on my last PT test, I did 94 push-ups, but I actually I did really good form for those push-ups. The most I've done on a PT test is 101 push-ups twice, I believe. I've done it twice. So 101 is my current max. I believe on my PT test, my Army, like my actual PT test, the recent one that I just took was for ROTC. And the ones that I really care about is for the Army. So my Army PT test is coming up in April, and I expect to do I expect to do like 105. I'm gonna go for at least 105 push-ups for that PT test, and then hopefully I can get my 2 mile down to 12 flat. That will be the goal. So anyways, have I missed some questions? Can you pick a job ASAP with a recruiter, or do you have to pick at MEPS? You can select a job when you go to a recruiter. If you have not taken an ASVAB test before, you won't be able to select a job because you don't have an ASVAB score, because your ASVAB is what determines what jobs you qualify for. So you don't know what jobs you qualify for until you take the ASVAB. So once you take the ASVAB, then you can go and you can sit down with your recruiter. You don't have to do it all at MEPS. You can sit down with your recruiter and then go over your options, and then what they will do is they'll basically put a hold on that job. It's not guaranteed, but it's like 99% guaranteed that once you go to MEPS, that job will still have been on hold for you, and then you will sign the contract. But when you talk to a recruiter, that's when you're going to select the MOS, and they will again put it on hold for you. So, can you enlist with bad credit? Yes and no. So you got to define bad credit. So that's one of the reasons that the military, checks your credit, and they check to make sure that you're not in a whole lot of debt. So, I mean, if you've got like a freaking 400 or 300 credit score, that might be an issue. But if it's, 600 flat, that's not good, but it's not, it's not going to hold you back. 010010001. In your civilian life, when did you get started in IT and how? Michael Harris. I've always been interested in technology related stuff. My current job is a software developer as far as like programming goes and writing code and all that stuff. I didn't get into that until college. My first, it was my second semester of college when I took a C++ course. And I was like, holy crap, this is a lot of fun, and I like this, and this is really cool that I can do, all these different things with the computer and make it do whatever the heck I want. So that was really whenever I got into it. Matt speaks nerd, so yeah. But that was when I got into it. When I was in high school, I took like electronics engineering classes, computer engineering classes, and then whenever I was a kid, I just liked technology. So anyways, did you ever think of another branch, the undead? No, not even for a second. I did not think of any other branch. I always wanted to be Army. What is the difference between... Well, what the heck? Where'd it go? What is the difference between being deployed as an infantry marine versus an army infantry? So obviously, I can't answer the specific answer for that, but basically they are going to be pretty similar, right? So, infantry soldiers, a lot of times, they're going to be the door kicker down guys. So if you need to clear out buildings, that's what you're going to do, kind of whether or not it's marine infantry or army infantry. That's one of the things you're going to learn how to do is clear buildings, and that's going to be a component of your job, right? So as far as like the difference in the deployment, personally, from my experience, what I've seen, what I've heard, it's not going to be a huge difference, right? So like I think people might agree with me that it's not like going to be super night and day of differences that'll be different besides just the fact that they're different branches, if that makes sense. So yeah, they're going to be different branches, so it's going to be different in that aspect, but the mission of what you do as an infantry soldier is essentially the same. So are the chances of being deployed higher for an active duty officer than active duty enlisted? No. No. What am I missing here? I'm going to Fort Lee, Virginia for culinary. What camp would I most likely be going to for basic training? Let's just say Fort Jackson. I don't know. Unless you're going to be infantry, you're going to Fort Benning. If you're going to be artillery, you're going to go like to Fort Sill most likely, although you don't have to go there. So you're not going to be able to tell. So a lot of people ask me like which for their MOS what basic training base that you're going to go to. So and it just depends. But if you didn't know, your AIT is going to be at a specific location. So if you want to know where your AIT is going to be at, you can look that up. You can look up how long your AIT is going to be. You can look up these things beforehand. So, hey Matt, what happens when you break down and start crying under pressure or whatever the reason during being smoked or yelled at? Basically, you get yelled at more if, I don't know if that should be the right thing to do, but yeah, people generally, they're not going to break down and start crying. It's more like they might be in a state of shock and they can't think correctly. So, this wasn't during a smoking session, but I remember during the final inspection, for the final like blue phase inspection. I've talked about this in my video on what happens the last week of basic training. And you're going to have all these higher ups that are going to come and talk to you. And when you're at basic training, whenever you're talking to like a master sergeant or a sergeant major or a captain or a higher up or something, it's a shock. Like it's weird. Like you do not feel comfortable talking to one of these people. And during this final test, this guy to my right literally forgot his name. So the question that he was asked for the blue phase was, what's the soldier's creed? Well, I'm an American soldier, blah, 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 blah. He forgot it. Like, he didn't know after, like, the first, 2 words or whatever. He just, like, blanked. And then it was a master sergeant that was talking to him. And I remember that, like, he was just like, he basically froze. And they were like, what's your name, soldier? And, like, he couldn't say anything. Like, he was just frozen. So, like, things like that will happen. But I've never seen anybody, like, break down crying. But I would assume you're probably just going to get yelled at more. Robert Cuevas. If I chose an MOS that has a sign-on bonus and decided to change MOS, let's say a year or 2 after AIT, will it affect the bonus? Yes. So I don't know specifics on things, right? So, if you join the military and your bonus is signing for a certain MOS, like that is in your contract, that this bonus is for this MOS in your contract, and then you switch MOSs right away, well then you technically didn't fulfill that contract, so then they can take back that bonus. So that's something that, I won't say for certain, yes, that's going to happen, or no, that's not going to happen, but I'm like 90% sure, yes. You have to be in that MOS for a certain amount of time or something. I'm not 100% sure, but you will definitely need to consult, with your leadership, with, a counselor or whatever, or somebody, not like a counselor, but a career counselor or whatever, and talk to them about that so you can know for sure. So that's what I would suggest. Also, that is something that you can ask your recruiter, I'm sure, and they would know the better answer for that. What is the first thing you're going to do when you become an officer? I guess technically the first thing that I'm going to do whenever I become an officer is render a salute. And then take a picture with my family. I don't know. I mean, what am I going to do? It's going to be the weirdest feeling in the world. I joined the military as a PFC, an E3, and then I'm about to be a second lieutenant in 3 months and 3 days. And that just that's crazy. That's crazy to me. And like when you join the military, when you guys enlist, and then you think of yourself like you're an enlisted soldier, and you think of an officer, you look at an officer and it's like, wow, that's crazy. And for me the fact that I'm about to be an officer, it just blows my mind. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but anyways. Yeah, Matt Smith, I don't know if you're still here, but yes, definitely. What days do you normally go live? JK Dynasty? It's normally the weekends, so today is Saturday. I just got done with my drill. I had my weekend drill for the Army Reserves this weekend. I got some homework and stuff to do a lot tonight, so that's what I was saying. I probably shouldn't be live streaming right now, but usually Friday, Saturday, or Sunday nights. That is whenever I do it. Are you a registered recruiter? No, I am not. And I mean, I'm not trying to recruit people. Some people, give me crap sometimes because I tell people, like, the military, it's not for everybody. And I'm not going to force anybody to join the military. I'm going to tell you guys how I feel about things, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts and stuff. But like, I'm not going to try to convince anybody to join the military. I am not about that life. If you're interested in the military, if you want to join the military, then yes, go for it. But if you don't want to join the military, then I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. Matt, did you hear that if drunk in barracks is now part of SARS? I have no clue what the heck that sentence just meant. Do you get to keep a gun? No, you do not. So you get issued your weapon, but then it stays in the armory. So it's yours, but it's not yours. It's just like the specific one that you use. So, hey Matt, I have dependents. Are you able to take your family when you're not an officer? So yeah, so it depends on where you go, but if you get stationed in the U.S. or in a combat zone, right? Somewhere in Europe, if you get stationed anywhere in the U.S., then yes, you can take your family with you. You don't have to be, an officer. You can be a lower enlisted soldier. So you can be a dang, E2 private. If you're married and you have kids, then, Anyways, the chat skipped down again. Are any razors for shaving okay as long as they aren't electric? Yes. Yes. You want to make sure you get good razors too. You don't want to get cheap razors. In the Army, are you required to clean your rifle? Yes, every single day. You're cleaning your rifle is the number one thing. So there is a list. Basically, there is a priority list of things to do, right? The number one thing on that priority list is cleaning your weapon, right? Cleaning your rifle, cleaning your M4, cleaning your 240, cleaning whatever that is, your equipment, right? Because that is like the most important thing. Before you eat, before you sleep, before you do anything else, you need to clean your weapon. Because let's say you're in a scenario, you just got into a firefight, you just got into a confrontation, you're popping off some rounds and stuff, you're diving in the dirt, your weapon's all dirty and stuff like that. And then there's a downtime, and then you have time to take a nap. You got time to eat something, and then all of a sudden you take out your MRE, and you're eating your MRE, and then oh my gosh, they come back again. You got to pick up your M4 and you got to shoot. Oh crap, it's jamming. You can't shoot. What's going on? Apply sports and try to fix what's going on. Oh my gosh, you can't shoot, and then you die because you ate rather than cleaned your weapon. So you clean your weapon first. That is like the most important thing. If you clean your weapon, you will live. If you don't clean your weapon, you will die. So, anyways. What weapon is similar to the gun you get issued? Basically, AR-15. It's one of the reasons that I got my Ruger AR-556. So if you want to know what AR I have a Ruger AR-556. The reason I got it is just very similar to an M4. It's inexpensive. It's a good quality weapon for a low price. I think it was like, how much was it? I seriously don't remember now. It was like $600 or $700 or something. I don't know. But if you do have a weapon and you want to shoot and get ready for basic training, use iron sights. Don't use scopes or anything like that. That's not going to help you out at all. Make sure you use iron sights and you get used to that. So, are there airplane pilots in the Army? Yeah, you got aviation. Aviation, yes. What should you pack for basic training? Sorry for the same. I think I'm missing the answer. Timothy, what you should pack for basic training is basically nothing. But some things that you should bring to basic training. At some point, I'm probably going to make a video on like these essential things that you should bring to basic training. Essential things that you need to bring to basic training. You need to bring stamps to write letters. So when you write a letter, you have a stamp to put on the letter. So that's something that you need to bring. You need to bring a watch, right? Don't bring a smartwatch. Don't bring a smartwatch. Don't bring a smartwatch. Just bring a normal, cheapo watch that has start and stop on the timer and can tell the time in military time, right? That's all you need. Just go to Walmart and pay dang $10 on a watch. That's what I did whenever I went. Well, actually, when I went to basic training, I didn't bring a watch. And I asked my parents in the first letter that they sent me, or the first letter that I sent home, I said, hey, go to Walmart and buy a $10 watch and mail it to me. And so they did that. So I got a watch. And then, you don't really need anything else. If you want to bring an extra change of underwear, make sure you bring, your shaving cream, your razors, your toothbrush, a little small, tiny bottle of like shampoo. And, preferably, a mix of maybe the kind that's like a shampoo and a body wash at the same time. And you don't need a lot because you're not going to have any hair. So you don't really need to wash your hair because you're not going to have any hair. So anyways. Hey, Matt, ever have a Blue Falcon in your platoon? Yeah. I don't feel like explaining what a Blue Falcon is right now. But a Blue Falcon is, somebody being that guy. Anyways, Bradley Hazelcamp, thank you. Favorite cadence? My favorite cadence. Well, I've said this before, but my favorite cadence is like the cadences when drill sergeants just kind of ad-lib it and they just kind of do their own thing. My favorite cadence for me to do is I kind of ad-lib it, but I don't even know what it's called because I kind of make it up myself. It's like a combination of a few things. You say your left, what the freak? Anyways, it's a combination of things, and I like making up the things and then adding certain things together, if that makes sense. So, set me in a barber's chair, spun me around, I had no hair, anyways, gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now. Anyways, I don't really know what the name of it is. I don't know what the name of the cadence is. I know several cadences, but I don't know like the names of any cadences except for Hey Hey Captain Jap and like I'm a Steamroller Baby, because those are the two that like everybody in the freaking military knows. But man, the cadence that I really liked that one of my drill sergeants, or not one of my drill sergeants, one of the drill sergeants did for Family Day was In the Early Morning Rain, and that was a good one. So that's a good one. That's high up on the list, but you have to be really good at calling cadence to be really good at In the Early Morning Rain. Why are y'all shipping off so late? Are y'all on the delayed entry program? They're probably in high school. And then, if you're talking about people who are shipping out in June, it's probably because they're in high school. Hard work. Yeah, hard work is a running cadence. There's not really like a running cadence that I like super like, because running cadences, they're okay for the first little bit, then you get tired. At least in my case, if you're actually running hard. So anyways, you guys follow me on Instagram. Oh, by the way, did any of you guys vote for me in the best military YouTuber competition? Just curious. Can you choose your weapon, or you just given a weapon? They just give you one. You just get in a big line and you just go to the armory and they just, here's a weapon, here's your weapon. Read off the serial number, because everything you do in the military, you read off the serial numbers, and then blah blah blah. Yes, I did. Good. I'm glad you did. When you are commissioned, how will that affect your YouTube channel? Hopefully, it'll enhance it, because whenever I commission, I'm no longer in freaking school anymore, because school is taking up so much of my time right now. It is ridiculous, because I have an actual job, then I have school, and then also I have YouTube, which takes up time, and then I'm trying to reply to you guys, but I've gotten behind on Instagram. But it's just hard. There's not enough hours in the day for me right now, especially, if I'm doing an hour and a half in the gym every day, and then I do a 40 to 45 minutes of cardio or something, that time adds up. But then I actually work, and then I go to class, and then I have homework, and then I make YouTube videos, and then I spend time replying to you guys. I have to eat at some point. Like, there's just not enough hours in the day. So whenever I get commissioned, that means that's a new experience for me to talk about. People can stop complaining about me being a cadet, because I used to be enlisted, but now I'm a cadet, and everybody hates cadets. But I'll have more time. So, yes, face reveal at 30,000 subscribers. This is all fake. This is all fake. You will get a face reveal at 30,000 subscribers. Matt, are you pumped the Eagles won the Super Bowl? Love from Philly here. William Scott, yes, I am super excited that the Philadelphia Eagles won. I'm from Charlotte, so my number one team is the Carolina Panthers, but always the Philadelphia Eagles have been my second favorite team. That's kind of also been like traditionally handed down for me, because my dad's from Pennsylvania. So we were definitely going for the Eagles. And then my least favorite team in the NFL is the Patriots. I totally dislike the Patriots because I'm a Panthers fan, and they've beaten the freaking Panthers in the Super Bowl. And you've got to hate the team that beats your team in the Super Bowl. That's just how it goes. So my least favorite team was up against my second favorite team. So yeah. No, you don't get to keep your M16. I've talked about that before, but you do not keep your M16. So real quick, just to explain like literally how that goes, is you're going to have all this gear. If you watched my video from today that I got issued, all of that gear is mine, right? So I get to keep it. Like it is mine, right? There's other things that you might get. We were doing the OCIE layout today at drill, and some other people had some things that were a little bit different than mine. They might have had some mop gear, which is, some of the clothes that you wear with the gas mask, not an actual gas mask, but the clothes that you wear with it. But that's the gear that you get. But like things like your weapon, that is the units. That's not yours. That's the units. And so at that unit, they are issued. They have a whole bunch of M4s, M16, all these weapons and stuff, and all the gear that goes with that. And then they basically assign a weapon to you. And then whenever you switch units, you don't bring your weapon. You just get to another unit, and then they assign you another weapon, right? So that's how that works. I'm from Charlotte as well. Well, that's an awesome city. What? Oh my gosh. Don't look. You looked. What? Drop and do 10 push-ups. Matt's my real dad. I love you guys. How do you join in high school? Talk to a recruiter. You got to be at least 17, but you can still be, 16 and then do it when you're 17. Real question, though. What's the real question? Can family fly out to graduation for basic training? Yes. So what's going to happen for you guys when... This is actually probably might help you guys out and might help you if you're worrying about certain things. So when you're at basic training, about halfway through, or maybe a little bit earlier, so your company is going to mail out a letter to your family that, you know, they're going to say, hey, basic training graduation is on this day, and all of your family members are going to be coming. They're going to make sure that, you know, they have to get literally like basically background checked, right? So all your family members that are coming, so they're going to have all the information that they need to know on when and where to be at for your graduation. Also, if you didn't know, basic training companies have Facebook pages, so you can communicate with them through the Facebook page. And usually a lot of times it's the drill sergeant's wives and it's the company commander's wives that run these Facebook pages. So you can basically talk directly to them. So if you have a question, or if your family member has a question about you at basic training or something like that, then your family member can message your basic training company's Facebook page. So, yes. Anyways. My face is super sensitive razor, so would they be able to clean my face up with the clippers instead? So you're seriously asking me if they would clean up your face, or they would shave you with clippers? No, they're not going to do that. But what they will do, they're a lot less lenient on this at basic training, but if you get like really bad razor bumps and stuff, then you can get a shaving profile to where you have to keep your facial hair at 1/8 of an inch or shorter, right? So you don't have to actually shave it. You just can use an electric razor at that point and do that. But no, like you'll still have to be basically looking clean shaved, because 1/8 of an inch isn't that much. Can you get mailed food? No, definitely not. Basically, the things that you can get mailed is letters, a couple of pictures. So if your family wants to send you pictures and stuff, they only should send a couple. Like, don't have them send a whole dang photo album to you, because the drill sergeant is not going to let you have that. And then, you know, things that are okay. So, like, let's say you run out of foot powder or sunscreen, or in my case, I wanted a watch. I asked my parents to send me a watch. You know, things like that are a necessity that you are allowed to have. So you can't send candy. You can't send, I don't know, you're not supposed to send books, right? So you can't send magazines. You know, the only book you can read is the Bible or your religious book. So anyways. Should I unsubscribe because you hate the Patriots? I'm from New England. Well, I just ate some New England clam chowder, but I mean, if you feel that way, you know, I hate the Patriots. I do not like them. But I mean, I'm not like too serious about it, but they're my least favorite team. If I fail basic training, can I go back? If so, when? If you fail basic training, yes, you can go back. I wouldn't even worry about that. As I've said before, if you want to pass basic training, you will pass basic training, so long you don't get hurt, right? So long you don't like break your ankle or something. But I believe it's like 6 months or something. Like if you do actually fail or you get sent home for something, it's like 6 months that you have to wait. I left during basic duty PT failures. It was general ELS. I also like to come back. Just wondering if you know how long I'd have to wait. Yeah, I think it's about 6 months. Again, you can literally just call a recruiter and ask them for the exact thing, but I'm pretty sure it's 6 months. If anybody knows the answer, you can leave your comment. All right. What if I told you I hate football? Then I'm sure you would be, you know, in the majority on the world, because there's, you know, 7-8 billion people in the world, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that hate football. Mexican Daisy. Do they have double XP weekend in the military? Yes, they do have double XP weekend in the military. So you get to rank up faster. You know, whenever they have double XP weekend, you know, if you do a lot of good soldiery stuff, then you know you're gonna get some promotion points. Are you allowed to have your phone at basic? No. What'll happen is the drill sergeants will take everybody's phone. You'll probably put it in a Ziploc bag and then write your name on the Ziploc bag so they know it's yours. And then the drill sergeant is going to keep the phones in a box in his office, and that's probably what's going to happen. And then if they do give you back out your phones, they're just going to take out the box and be like, boom, there you go. Have your phone for freaking 10 minutes. And that's what they're going to do. Or 30 minutes, or I mean, it just varies. Do you have to keep... What the freak are you guys asking? How to score high on the ASVAB? Study as much as possible if you're worried about not having a high score. So take practice tests online. If you want to get a book, do that. How can I rank up to so I can start basic higher than a private? I've talked about that in a video on starting basic training and ranking up, so you can check out that video. But a lot of it has to do with recruiting other people or college. So either you have college credits or you recruit other people. So anyways. But YouTube contests, I also recruited 4 more fans for... Thank you, Ann. Thank you. And that's basically what I'm going to finish off this live stream at. Make sure you guys follow me on social media, Instagram, Snapchat. My Instagram. Make sure you guys follow me on here. Link is in the description. But the best military YouTuber competition, I will let you guys know on Instagram and Snapchat when to vote for me. I'll also let you know on my Twitter. My Twitter is in the description. I believe you guys can vote on Wednesday. As far as I know right now, it is on Wednesday when you guys can vote. So we will keep you guys posted. We should, be okay. But the thing is, even though I'm going up against somebody who's like a much lower seed than me, I want to make a statement that you guys are freaking awesome. Y'all are just the best. So we got to show up and just annihilate and just destroy and make a statement on this whole military YouTuber competition and just keep on going. Matt versus Bully Juice in Elite 8. Michael Harris, you're thinking what I'm thinking, buddy. That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. So I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure, again, follow me on social media if you want to vote for me. If you don't want to vote for me, then I hope you at least participate and vote for somebody else. But anyways, I will cancel the live stream right now. It was fun. I hope you guys have a great day, again, for the 5th time. Oh, look at the camera. I totally forgot that was over there.